the arrival of Web3 is on one of your lists for next year. Why?
Okay, just in fair disclosure, the predictions were meant to be a light read. I don't have a crystal ball, but Web 3.0 is going to be the most talked buzzword here in Silicon Valley next year, I think. Again, the way various different large internet companies are controlling data, access to information, access to proliferation of information is something that a lot of smaller companies have been working up against. So Web 3.0, in an oversimplified way, is a way to take the control of data away from these large companies. And that's what many smaller companies are trying to do. How
Okay.
that happens is going to be seen. We are going to go through iterations of mechanics. Cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology is just the first step. We'll probably see more applications come sometime during the next year, probably over the next 3 years, but we'll definitely start seeing more evidence. A lot of smart people are working on it in Silicon Valley, so I'm hopeful.
Okay, talk to us also about SPACs and maybe outperforming other traditional IPOs, because this felt like the year of SPACs, but then the performance started to wane a little bit. Why is 2022 their year?
Again, I feel this was the year where we had a SPAC tsunami, and probably the standard of companies that went through the SPAC IPO route was, in my opinion, slightly lowered. I think next year there is going to be an anniversarying effect, and more companies that probably are more seasoned and are going to try the SPAC route, and probably investors will recognize that. So that is the hope. Again, SPACs do, I think, open the door for smaller tech IPOs. And if you think of what has happened over the last 10 years, companies are staying private longer. Smaller
Uh-huh.
companies tend to not go public, and SPACs let them go public through a smallish IPO. So that is opening up a new capital markets area, which I think is encouraging and healthy for the entire ecosystem as such.
Let's talk about the companies that are public. Going into next year, one of your top picks is Uber. For the mega caps, it's Facebook. What these both have in common, I thought, was some regulatory risk and regulatory overhang. Is that not a risk?
On Uber, definitely. I think Uber, it's a bigger of a risk. But I think as the year progresses, I think we will see some potential events that should ease out the risk and ease out the worry that investors have. For example, we expect something from New York State in January around gig economy employment. In Boston, there's going to be a ballot initiative. Probably we'll see an appeal on the Prop 22 here in California. So as the months progress, part of our hypothesis here is the risk on Uber, which is the gig worker kind of employment classification across the globe, across in Europe, in New York and California, slowly starts to ease. And plus, we obviously have the reopening, mass vaccinations, and a ton of other things going in Uber's favor, such as profitability is kicking in, and they have grocery delivery kicking in. And then all those things should come together. That should help Uber ease the risk on the regulatory side, and plus profitability and other new growth drivers start to kick in. That
Yeah.
makes it a good story, I think.
I only have 10 seconds. Does Apple get to 3 trillion next year?
I don't cover Apple, but again, they're doing a lot of new things, advertising being one.
Uh-huh.
So I don't see any reason why not.